because I find that it doesn't stay clean that way. And then I am going to open my new, I'm going to fail at opening my new package of garlic salt or garlic powder. We'll get to that later. And then I'll add some salt to my chicken and some pepper just for flavor. By the time it gets in the stir fry, you won't even taste the flavors, trust me. And then I'll leave those because I'm going to put them on the other side of the chicken now. So now that I've touched chicken, I have to be really careful. So I only touch the chicken with my right hand. So now I'm only going to use my left hand to season it because you don't want to get the germs. And that's a challenge. Season with some pepper. And season with oregano. Oregano has a bit of a salty base to it anyways, and plus we don't need to cook with so much salt. Now, because one of my hands has touched chicken, I immediately go wash it. Washing our hands now. I use the hand that didn't touch the chicken to pump out the soap. And I wash, 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 wash. Wash, wash, wash. Happy birthday to you. I didn't finish the song. I started early. Okay. So the chicken is seasoned, and now that the chicken is seasoned, it is going to simply chill out in the back. So chicken is ready to cook. And the back burner is on. I like to put it on medium. Medium is the best one. And I always have a little garbage bag when I cook, just so that it's really convenient and easy. And again, my hand touched chicken, so off we go. Now, for the next part, I'm going to be cutting and cleaning my vegetables. So vegetables, you don't have to wash your hands in between cutting them because they don't have that kind of bad bacteria that chicken has that needs to be cooked. So these are broccoli, and I'm going to use the tops of the broccoli for my stir fry today. So this is gone, and let's see here, this is gone, and this is gone. And I wash my vegetables when I come home from the store. So that part's already done, if you're wondering. And I'm going to use all of the broccoli because broccoli tastes so good in a stir fry. And the broccoli will become smaller pieces once it's in the stir fry, so I usually just kind of leave it. So separate the pieces a bit. Probably keep this one as a bigger piece. Still smells good. You do want to check on broccoli. There's nothing worse than rotten broccoli. It can smell really bad. So I'm just separating the pieces with my hands. Some people like to cut them, but I'm just going to separate with my hands. And to that, finished with that, and now I'm going to cut the carrots. So I peel my carrots before to save time. I'm going to use about 3 carrots, and I'm just going to cut them really quickly into small pieces. And they're flying everywhere. Don't try this at home. So I need to cut a bit more slowly because they do tend to move around. And the carrots will get smaller in the stir fry too. So you want the pieces to be about medium size, because if they're medium size, they'll be pretty much perfect once they come out of the stir fry. And this is a very strong knife. It's a great knife. I cut off the tip of the carrot because that's usually the part that's not so tasty. And you will have to spend time peeling these carrots, but for this cooking video, I didn't want to spend time showing you how to peel a carrot. I wanted you to see all of the vegetables going in. And this is a healthy recipe. and a tasty one too, really tasty. And I use a separate cutting board for vegetables and meat. I usually rinse it off before I use it for meat. So many wonderful veggies. And this is my meal. Okay. So, I'm going to add my mushrooms. Am I? Not yet. There's no space. Okay, celery. So you want to cut off quite a bit of the tip of the celery because it usually isn't that fresh by the time you get it home. And I usually cut off a bit of a chunk there. And here, I'm going fast. If you're really cooking quickly, you should actually work up a bit of a sweat. And if your celery is too white, it doesn't taste very good. But in the stir fry, you're probably not going to notice it. So I'm going to keep some of those pieces. This is going to have so many veggies in it. Yummy! Alright. Celery. So now, I have to cut the celery into even smaller pieces. And these are some of my favorite vegetables, by the way. And this is getting too big. So, there we go. Problem solved. And now, the mushrooms can fry in here. Because mushrooms take a bit longer to fry. And I'll cut those in half. Please be careful if you're using a knife. Please don't do that without mom or dad's permission. Like, really? Be careful. See how I'm keeping my thumbs away from the knife? And in it goes. You can see how long it takes to prepare this, but this will be enough food for probably 2 or 3 meals. It's a really nice stir fry. So my veggies are ready, and so is my chicken to be checked. So I'm going to check my chicken, and I have to turn over my chicken, and I'm going to use a flipper to turn over my chicken to the other side. Now, you might have heard my email just ding when you're cooking. It's really, really important to not be distracted. To not have a phone near you, because cooking requires a lot of attention. For example, I need to remember if I put oil in here, and I didn't. So I'm going to add a bit of vegetable oil. And I'm thinking I'm going to need a bigger container for all this. This is a lot of veggies. That's okay. We'll do our best. So I'm going to start with this. So this has all started stir frying, as have the mushrooms and the chicken. So now I need to make my sauce, because a stir fry has to have a bit of a sauce. So my recipe says I'm going to have to double that. Okay, so I need 1 cup of cold water. I don't have soy sauce, but that's okay. I'm going to use oyster sauce instead. So I get 1 cup of cold water, and then I add 4 teaspoons of cornstarch. Cornstarch is a nice sort of agent that mixes things and keeps things together. 1, 2, 3, and that was a really heaping pile, so I'll make 4 a bit smaller. 4. Alright. sauce in the fridge? I'm gonna look, but I don't think I do. Do I have any left over? No, I have some sauce, but that's okay. I don't need soy sauce. Instead, I'm going to use oyster sauce because it's similar effect. Here's oyster sauce. And I put the oyster sauce in this liquid mix. Just checking the last place that soy sauce might be. That's okay. We don't need it. And then I mix it with a spoon and a fork. Maybe I'll just use a fork. Alright, mix, mix, mix. That's about the color it was last time. Okay. So, I'm going to add some butter to my mushrooms to make them cook nicely. So I've added some butter, and butter and mushrooms go together really well, so I'm going to add more. And I'm going to keep it out just in case I need more. It's hard to cook in a smaller kitchen, but gets the job done. And my chicken is not done yet, but since I'm going to be stir frying everything together, my chicken is done enough for me to cut it. So chicken comes over here. I turn off the burner of the chicken. And I'm going to use a fork and a very good knife to cut it into stir-fry pieces because it's a bit different. You don't want to put the whole breast of chicken in for a stir-fry. You want to have smaller pieces. See, you can see by the pink interior, it's not done yet, but by the time I'm done stir-frying, it will be just perfect, because if you leave it in too long, it'll be overdone. So this is not cooked, boys and girls. Just because it's white on the outside does not mean this chicken is ready. In fact, it's dangerous for you to eat the chicken like this. You would get really sick. Okay, so I'm going to move the chicken frying pan out of the way and stir my mushrooms by hand and stir them with this. And now I'm adding my mushrooms. As you can see, it does get a bit smaller. I turn this off and then the pan goes in the sink to cool off. So now the veggies will just sit here. And the broccoli really gets tiny. And it gets tiny quite quickly. And you want to stir this really well. You want to pay attention to it. You don't want to go check your phone, check TV. Like, this is stuff you need to pay attention to. You need to make sure your burners are off. Alright, the chicken is going in. Alright, chicken. And this piece of carrot fell. Carrots take forever to cook. So carrots are usually the ones that are a little bit undercooked. But I like carrots raw anyway. And we just lost a mushroom. So when you stir quickly, things tend to fall out. And I'm going to turn this down because this has to simmer for about 3 minutes. Oh, this looks great. I don't know where I'm going to have space for the noodles. That's the problem. Maybe I'll have to do 2 batches. I think so, because I don't think I'm going to have space for the noodles. Yeah, I'm not going to. I need a larger wok. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to let this simmer on minimum, and I'm going to add garlic powder to my mix. And I know my mix does not look nice. It looks kind of gross, but that's okay. So I'm going to use a knife to open my garlic powder, because they make this so well sealed that you can't get into it. Alright. And I'm going to add, oh no, no seal there. Okay. So I'm going to add some garlic powder, and I love garlic. So the amount of garlic that just got added was ridiculous, but that's okay. So I stir my mixture again, and my noodles are somewhere. This is the fun part of filming at home. We think they're on the second shelf. No, first shelf?
No, we put them on the first shelf.
Did we put them? Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
No judgment. Okay, no judgment, people.
I remember seeing them and asking if they were yours, and you said yes.
Yes. This is why we turn the heat down. Okay.
Either that or it's on the second shelf.
It might be on the second shelf. Okay, so boys and girls, excuse one moment. Why don't we look at the chicken cooking?
Yep. Okay. So here's the chicken cooking. Simmering.
And it's not burning.
Nope. That's why you keep stirring, so that it doesn't burn, even though I can't stir for Miss West because my hands are on the camera.
So here, I'm stirring while I'm looking for my noodles. By the way, I'm starving by now, so looking for my noodles is a challenge. Oh, you have soy sauce.
Yeah, I do. Do you need it?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Not to be found.
I know I have extras.
Maybe it's somewhere in the corner.
If you guys were to see what was happening right now, oh, they're up on the top shelf.
There we go.
Okay, so, alright, I don't know if you guys can see what's going on right now, but hopefully not, because this is like super awkward. Here's the flippin' soy sauce. We found soy sauce. This is why you get your ingredients out before you do the cooking show. This is gonna take like 30 minutes to get.
Oh, shoot. I was about to sit in this chair
Were you?
and wait for you.
Well, you can sit in the chair after I get my noodles.
Okay. Okay.
I found my noodles.
Yay.
Alright, so the chicken is still cooking. So I'm gonna turn up the heat a bit. Because I'm getting hungry.
I'm gonna sit down.
So my friend Valerie is helping me film. And she's gonna help me eat this after too. So this, boys and girls, could be enough for supper tonight and lunch tomorrow and a bit of supper. This is a lot of food. Come on, chicken. And if you cut the chicken into smaller cubes, it cooks faster. Oh, this is gonna be nice. And do you notice that my ratio of vegetables to chicken is like a lot more veggies than chicken? Trying to have more veggies. And you can check the inside of your chicken by just breaking it up into pieces. some of these pieces are doing well. Some are still really slow.
The inside of your meat should never be pink.
Nope. Because
Yeah,
you
we
are
need
not a steak chef.
Yep, it should be about that color.
So this is getting closer to the type of chicken that we can eat. Yeah, this is okay. This piece is still being really slow.
Yeah, see how that's pink?
That's pink. We don't eat that.
That's not good to eat.
Nope, we'll wait. And everything else is going well. How's it smelling, Valerie?
It smells amazing. Wish you guys could smell through this iPad.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, chicken is coming slowly but surely. These are thick pieces of chicken. Okay. Alright, so now we're going to add our mixture. And boy, does this ever create a mess, this recipe. So we've added our thickening sauce. And this is just going to sit here for 5 minutes. So, while we sit here for 5 minutes, I'm going to talk about healthy food. You should have on your plate, half of it should be green, orange, or red. And I don't mean ketchup. That's right, Mateus, I'm talking to you. Just kidding, I'm talking to all of you because you're all obsessed with ketchup because you're 10 years old. So your plate should be... Valerie knows. Your plate should be green, orange, for half of the plate. A quarter of your plate should be meat. And then, the other quarter should be a grain. A pasta, a rice, something like that. You don't want to have all of your food be pasta or rice because you don't need that much sugar. So that's one tip for healthy eating. I try to follow it. I don't always succeed. But this recipe can help you do that. So it's starting to boil nicely. Oh, that sauce is getting thick. That's great. So it's, boys and girls, it's the cornstarch that makes it thick. And now that we've got soy sauce and oyster sauce in here, the flavor will be impeccable. So I'm just going to start putting things away because I like to stay clean as I'm cooking. And this has some time to it. So, you know, in the comments below, you can tell me what are your favorite recipes. You can tell me what you know how to cook at home. Do you help cook at home? Who does the cooking at home? Tell me what you'd like to learn how to cook. Maybe I'll do another video. And that's getting a bit too bubbly, so I'm going to turn that down. And I'm going to move my recipe out of the way so that I have space to clean up. Tell me what's your favorite food from where your family's from. If you're from Taiwan, do you have any favorite Taiwanese food? Any favorite food from China, the Philippines, Brazil, Russia, Ukraine? Any favorite recipes that have been in your family for a long time? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, this recipe is a bit of work. It would be easier if I had a larger space, but that's okay. And you can tell that the chicken is still, that's why you don't put the chicken in fully cooked, because then it'll be overcooked. Because you can see it gets quite a bit of time in the stir fry. So I believe the sauce has thickened enough for me to put in the noodles. So I'm going to turn it down a bit because this is getting pretty warm. And these are just typical dry noodles. And these noodles will become moist inside the stir fry. You're going to love it. So they are crisp and dry right now. And this is probably the most unhealthy part because these are air fried noodles. And I can feel the sodium on them. But that's okay. We can survive that part. This makes a huge portion. This is like a family-sized meal, but that's okay. And then you stir in the noodles and just keep stirring gently, really gently, on a super low heat because these noodles are going to absorb the moisture. Oh, look at this. Dang. So these noodles are going to become moist. Just, that's the way they are made. Wow. Check this out. So we just let this sit for a little while. And this you really do have to check the heat because you don't want this burning. Gently turning your noodles, not spilling. That's a stir fry. And just keep gently turning. So I'm going to leave this here for about a minute and do a little bit more cleaning so that I feel good about my workspace. And put my noodles back. Every person's wish is to have more cupboard space for their food. Alright. Okay. So, as you can see, the noodles are starting to soften. And some people like some of the crispy noodles, which is fine. I like mine softer, so it's up to you how long you want your noodles to stay in the sauce. And notice how we almost have no sauce left now. The noodles just absorb it. This was, the first time I made this, I thought it was magic that the noodles did this. I really thought it was magic. And again, some people might want to add salt. I personally wouldn't because, you know what? There's a lot of salt in the soy sauce and the oyster sauce. And if we all get used to eating foods that are less salty, it'll be better for us in the long run. And if you could see my kitchen right now, you would be amazed. Here's the butter. Butter's going away for baking. Oh, baking. Speaking of baking, big difference between cooking and baking. Baking, the hard work is always before it goes in the oven. Speaking of baking, look what Miss West made. Miss West made banana bread cake. And it's amazing. Really amazing. Too amazing. And it stays wrapped up. Nice and fresh. I'll have to rewrap that later. Okay, these noodles are looking good. And notice how when I have to move away from the stove, I keep things on minimum heat. It's safer, and I know I won't burn anything. And I still have some noodles that are a little bit crisp for my taste. So I'm just going to be stirring and stirring, making sure that every part of my stir fry gets attention. And I know that you saw a big pile of noodles go in here, and you probably thought that's not going to fit. But that's what I mean by this recipe is actually a little bit strange because all of the ingredients get smaller. So when I when I thought that I needed a larger wok, I eventually realized, no, it'll be okay, it'll all fit. So I think this is ready. And I want to thank my friend Valerie for filming me.
Of course.
It was really fun. And I'm super hungry now because I didn't eat my dinner yet. So I'm going to show you what the stir fry looks like. Ooh. And my hand is going to wave bye to you. This is my new nail color. I know you're all talking about it. Just kidding. Alright, I'll see you on the other side, Division 7. Enjoy your own cooking experience.